Hi everyone, my name is Bappy Hamed and welcome to this video. So guys, in this video, we'll be implementing one amazing project called Advanced Knowledge RAG. So this project will be implementing with the help of GenAI. So I think you know what is RAG. RAG means Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Let's say you have some custom documents and you want to perform any kinds of query on top of that. That time you can create the RAG architecture. So this project would be advanced kinds of projects. So here we'll try to integrate lots of functionality. So here we'll be implementing one level 3 architecture. Okay. So first of all, I will give you the project idea. Okay, like project architecture diagram and all. Then we'll start the development of our project. So guys, as you can see, this is the project architecture. So here we'll be implementing one level 3 architecture. So here we'll be having different component, like we'll have the backend server, we'll have the frontend server, and both server will try to host over the AWS cloud. I will also show you the deployment part of this project. And if you want, you can also add the external APIs. Let's say you want to perform some real-time search operation. Let's say you want to get the weather information. That time you can use weather API. Then we'll be using large language model. In case we'll be using OpenAI model, GPT based model. Then we'll be using cloud storage. That means we'll be using AWS S3 bucket. So whatever documents user will upload, whatever file user will upload, we'll try to save inside this cloud services. Okay. Then we'll also try to integrate the vector database. So we'll be creating the entire knowledge base. That means we'll try to convert all the text to the vector representation. For this vector database is required. And here user will send the like query over the frontend server. Frontend server will communicate with the backend server, and backend server will communicate with the LLM cloud storage if you are adding the external APIs or vector database. Okay. And overall, let's say a project will try to develop over the cloud platform. So this is the like high level architecture diagram of our project. Now let me show you what would be the RAG architecture, like how we are going to design the entire RAG. We'll try to discuss this part. So guys, we'll be implementing one RAG, advanced RAG management. So to implement the RAG, let's say you have the custom documents. Okay, custom docs. So first of all, we'll try to extract the data. Extract data. Okay, from the documents. Let's say you have PDF file, documents file, or any kinds of file format. You have to extract the data. Then after that, we'll be performing the chunking operation. Chunking. Okay. Why chunking? Because you know that LLM has some limitation. Every model has some input limit. So that's why we have to create the smaller chunks. And these chunks will be using something called embedding model. We'll be using embedding model. Okay. So with the help of this embedding model, we'll try to generate the vector embedding. Vector embedding. And this vector embedding will try to store in the vector database. Vector database. And this is going to be by knowledge base. Okay. And in case you can use any kinds of vector database, you can use ChromaDB, Fire, Squaviate, Pinecone. Okay, anything you can use that. Now let's say if user is asking any kinds of query, let's say this is my user, and if he is asking any kinds of query, so it will go to the this knowledge base will be calling as a retriever. Okay, and this retriever will return some rank output, ranked output or response. Okay. There is a parameter called k. If k is equal to 3, that means it will return 3 relevant response. But this response is not readable. For this, we'll be using large language model, LLM. Okay. So we'll try to pass this response to the LLM. We'll also pass the query to the LLM, and LLM will try to process and give you the actual response. Okay, actual response. So this is the entire idea. I hope you got it. Fine. That means what is happening? Let's say you have one LLM and you are giving a context. You are also giving the query, and it is processing and it is giving you the response. Okay, this is your LLM. That means you are also providing the answer as well as the question, and LLM is trying to understand and it is giving you the response. Let's see if I'm giving you 10 different cat books, and if I ask him tell me about the cats, definitely you will be able to answer because you already read about the cats. Okay, you have the context of the cats. That's how you will be able to give me the response. Okay, I hope you got it. Now let's try to discuss about the folder structure, how we are going to create the entire project folder. So here uh, we'll have the requirement.txt file, requirements.txt txt file, then we'll have a app folder, and at the app folder we'll have some file like init.py, okay, underscore init.py. Then we'll have config.py, okay. Then we'll have main.py, okay. Then we'll have the model folder, okay. Inside model we'll again have the init folder. So what I've done, I have already created a folder structure. So let me show you how this will look like. I already created an image. This is how your folder structure looks like, guys, okay. Let me show you. So this is how your folder structure will look like. So in the app folder you can see init, config, main, models, okay. Then again inside models we have init vector store, then service, init LLM service, storage service, okay. Then static style, template, index.html. Now I'll explain whenever we try to implement the project. I'll explain, okay, what is this storage service, what are the things we have to write in the storage service, everything we'll try to discuss. And the technology will be used, we'll be using Python, okay, programming, and we'll be using Flask for the front end, okay. Then we'll be also using something called large language model, OpenAI large language model. Then we'll be using vector DB, we'll be using S3 bucket, okay. And for deployment also we'll be using CI/CD approach, we'll be using ECR, Docker, okay. So everything we'll try to use, and we'll try to do the deployment of our project. So yes guys, this is the idea. That means here we'll be implementing a system. So his user will upload any kinds of custom documents there, and user can perform the query on top of that, okay. And this project will be implementing with the help of level 3 architecture. This is the advanced architecture, okay. This is the full stack development. Now full stack development wise, many people will be using, let's say, Next.js, React, okay, for the front end development. But here we are not going to use that. I will be using Flask to create the front end part. But no need to worry, there would be a separate team. Those will be creating the front end part for you, okay. You don't need to worry about that. So now guys, let's try to see how we can implement the entire project. So what you can do, you can also create a GitHub repository here, okay. You can also create a GitHub repository, and inside GitHub you can upload all of your code. And how to create the GitHub repository, I think you know that. Click on new repository, okay, and give the name, then select as a public, then add the readme file, add git ignore, then create, give the license. Then after that create the repository and try to clone the repository, okay. So now let's try to see how we can implement the entire system, and I will also show you how we can deploy this kinds of project over the cloud platform. So guys, this is the application I have already implemented. So let me open it up. You can see rack-based knowledge management system. So here you have the entire source code, okay. See, it's not possible actually to show the, like, you can say, line by line implementation, because we are recording this particular video and it takes time. So that's why I have like implemented this project, okay, before. So now I'm going to discuss all of the component I have implemented here, because I'm expecting you are already familiar with Python programming and you already familiar with object-oriented programming, because here I have actually followed the modular coding approach. So I used actually OOP concept as well, like we have created a class, okay, class method, these are the thing. So that is why actually it is required, because you are doing the professional development and here you need the modular coding skill, okay, as I already told you at the very first. So here I will give you entire clear-cut understanding, guys, no need to worry. So here, first of all, let me open this project, okay, with the help of my code editor. And I think you know I'm using actually VS Code. So let me open up my VS Code here. So I'll open up my Visual Code Studio here, okay. So let me close as of now. These are the things, okay. Now, second thing, I need to open up my terminal, okay. So you can also open up your Anaconda prompt, okay. If you are using Git Bash, you can also integrate Git Bash with your Anaconda. So here I'm using Git Bash and I have integrated with my Anaconda. You can also use the Anaconda prompt directly, okay. It's up to you. Now, the first thing, guys, what you have to do, you have to set up the project. And how to set up the project, I already told you. So even I have already written in the readme file, you can see. So if I open this readme file, let me show you, open preview. See guys, first of all, you have to create the virtual environment, okay, with the help of this particular command. After creating, just try to activate, then try to install all the requirements, okay. Then once installation is complete, then we'll be executing our endpoint, which is nothing but main.py. It is available inside app, okay. You can see main.py. Then we'll be opening our localhost and the port number, and we can use our application. So first of all, let me show you the overview of this application, the application I have developed. So first of all, I will show you the work demo of this application, like how it works. Then we'll be understanding the entire code, okay. So what I will do, guys, first of all, I have to activate my environment. See, for me, I already created my environment, okay. For you, you have to create. So I'll just try to activate my environment. So I'll open up my terminal. and I created my environment. I think LLM app 2, because I already have actually LLM app, okay, in my environment. That's why I created this particular new one, okay, LLM app 2. But if you don't have it, you can create it. But if you have it, you can use any other name, okay, it's up to you. Now let me activate it. Okay, now see, it's activated. Now the second thing, you have to install all the requirements. Okay, so for me, I already installed all of my requirements. Okay, you can see in the requirement.txt file, I have all the requirements, okay, for this project. So even I've also specified the version, okay, which particular version you have to use. And why version, I already told you, because let's say if you're executing this project after 6 months, so that time you won't be getting any kinds of error because you are using the same version. Got it? So for me, I already executed this requirement installation command. Okay, so this one. Okay, just try to copy and try to execute from your terminal. For me, I have already done, so all the requirement is installed for me. Okay, but if you don't have, just try to install everything. See, if I execute, so it will tell me requirement is already satisfied for me. So let me show you. See, all the requirement is already satisfied for me. Okay, but for you, it will take some time. Okay, once it is done, then I will be executing this particular command, python app main.py, because inside app, I am having my endpoint, okay, main.py, and main.py is my main file. Okay, so if you execute this file, your application will start. Now let me show you. So here I'll clear my terminal and I'll execute this command, python app slash main.py. Okay, see, this application is running right now. So if you want to see that, just open up your browser and here search for localhost port number 8080. Okay, now see, if I execute, so this is the interface of my application. So here actually I have created one simple interface, but if you are, let's say, a full stack developer, if you know, let's say, Next.js and all, you can also beautify this particular front end with the help of like more HTML and CSS code. Okay, but we are a Python developer, so that's why we have implemented this graphical interface, okay, in a simpler way. Now here user can upload any kinds of PDF file or any kinds of TXT file. As of now, I'm considering PDF and TXT file, but you can also consider any other file, let's say CSV file and all. And I already showed you, okay, how we can load different file, actually CSV file or let's say HTML file. So simply go to the LangChain documentation and from there you can do it. Okay, so here as of now I have created TXT loader and PDF loader. Okay, now user can upload any kinds of PDF document or TXT document. So let me upload one let's say document here. So you can see in my project, so I have created a data folder. Inside that I have kept some PDF. Okay, you can see just to share with you. Okay, so let me upload one PDF from here in the data folder. Let's say here I have my resume and my paper. Okay, so this particular paper I published. So this is about actually rainfall measurement. So first of all, what I will do, let's upload my resume. Okay, so I'll upload my resume. Now see, I have uploaded. Now you have to click on the upload button. So I'll click on the upload button. So guys, you can see this file has updated and processed successfully. Okay, it is giving you this message. That means it is uploaded successfully. Now what will happen? This file would be available in the S3 bucket. So let me open up my S3 bucket. So here what I will do, I'll open up my AWS account. So let me open up my AWS account. So guys, you should have the AWS account. If you don't have the account, you have to create the account. Okay, because here we are using the AWS service. Now inside AWS you have something called S3. Okay, S3 is nothing but it's a cloud storage. Okay, so let me search for S3. So now see, here I already created one bucket. Okay, rack bucket to 24. Now let me open it up. Now you can see guys, the let's say PDF I updated. Now see, it is available here. Okay, that means whatever application user will upload, it will store here in the cloud storage. Okay, from there my application will download and it will create the knowledge base. Okay, so this is how actually professional application works. Okay, whatever, let's say rack based system you saw, like I already show you some of the preview of application, right? Like the Seq Insight from the Llama Index. So it is using the same approach. So they're also storing the file in the cloud services. Okay, that is the thing. But in the level 2 architecture you saw, I just kept the, let's say, file inside data folder and from there I was reading and all. Okay, so that was the experiment and this is the professional development. Now see, this file has updated. Now I'll click on the OK. Now here you can start asking any kinds of question. Okay, because now it has become one knowledge management system, okay, on top of your document. Now if I show you, so see, it will create a vector store. Okay, you can see. So here I'm using ChromaDB. So it has created one vector database. You can see Chroma. Okay, I'm using the Chroma. And Chroma is a local vector database. So it has stored everything in your local. Okay. In case actually you can also use Pinecone, but Pinecone is a paid one. So that's why we're not going to use the Pinecone.
So that's why I have used the ChromaDB. Okay, and ChromaDB is like a very good vector database you can use. Now you can start asking any kinds of questions. So what I will do, I will open up the PDF. I'll open up my, let's say, resume. So you can see this is the resume. I created this resume long back. Now let's ask some question about the resume. So I'll copy my name and I'll go to my application, and here I'll just write, tell me about Boktiar Ahmed Bappi. Let's say I want to know about his profile. Okay, so here I'll just write profile. Now if I ask the question, so here you will get the response. So guys, you can see it is giving me the response. Boktiar Ahmed Bappi is a data scientist and lecturer having 2.6 years of working experience in the field of machine learning, blah blah blah. That means whatever things you can see in my resume, okay, now it is able to give me the response with respect to that. Okay, it's amazing. Now you can also ask any other question. Let's say here I will ask another question. Let's say I will ask about my online profile. Okay, so here I'll tell how many online profile he has. Okay, so here I have given he has. Now it should remember my previous context. That means I asked about Boktiar Ahmed Bappi, right? So it should remember my previous context and how to do it with the help of memory. So I also implemented the memory functionality in this application. Now see if I ask, so still it will able to give me the answer. So see, Boktiar Ahmed Bappi has 5 online profile listed in the provided context. Now if I show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, great, right? So that's how you can ask about the skills. So let's say I will ask the skills. Let's say, tell me about his skills. Okay, now see, so all the skills actually I'm having, okay, it is able to give me the answer. Amazing. It's not like that you only can upload one PDF, you can also upload multiple PDF. Let me show you. So let's say I will upload my paper. Okay, so this is the paper actually I published. So let me upload this paper. So let me show you the paper also. So this is the paper, development of multiple combined regression method for real-time measurement, and you can see I was the author. Okay, now here we'll be asking the question on top of this paper. So first of all, let me complete the upload. So once it is uploaded, you see you will get this particular message, that means process successfully. Okay, now I will click. Now you can start asking any question. So here what I will do, and again if I show you my bucket, if I refresh, see this file has been updated also. Okay, my paper. Okay, now let me ask the question. So here I'll open it up, and I'll copy this paper title, and here I will just write, tell me about development combined regression rainfall measurement. Okay, now if I ask, okay, now see, combined regression method for rainfall measurement involves utilizing various regression technique, accuracy, some okay, blah blah blah. That means if you go through my paper abstraction, okay, the same thing I was discussing in the paper. Now you can ask any kinds of question. Okay, now you can ask about the introduction, methodology, related work. Okay, anything you can ask, it will able to give you the answer. So that means we have created a very powerful application, very powerful knowledge management system. Okay, and even you can also upload any txt file. So as of now I don't have any txt file, so that's why I'm not going to upload. But if you have any txt file, you can also upload and you can test. Okay, so yes guys, this is the application. Now we'll be learning how we can develop with the help of level 3 architecture. Okay, now this is the professional architecture, guys. Okay, this is what your professional development. Okay, so now let me open up the code base and let me try to discuss, okay, how you can implement this particular application. So I'll close all the tab. Okay, now first of all let me show you the project folder structure. Okay, so how to create the project folder structure. For this I already created this structure and I have given you in the project folder. You can see, so first of all you have to create the requirement.txt, and inside that you have to mention all the requirements. Okay, so I've already done it. Then after that you have to create the app folder. So here I've created the app folder. Okay, inside that you have to create all the components. So first of all you have to give the constructor file. And what is this constructor file? I already told you. Okay, in my level 2 development, whenever I was developing the medical chatbot, so it is a actually local package concept. So whenever you are utilizing your Python folder as a, let's say, module, that time you have to use this particular constructor file. Then config main.py, you can see config main.py. Okay, then again I have created a model folder. Inside that I have a constructor file and vector store. Okay, you can see. Then service folder. Inside that I have constructor LLM service storage service, LLM service storage service. Okay, then I created the static folder because I'm using the Flask, and Flask uses statics, and inside that I have to write my CSS code and the template. Okay, inside that we'll having the HTML code. Okay, so that's how you have to create the entire folder structure. And to create the folder structure, you can use that template.py file I showed you in the level 2 development. Otherwise you can also create it manually. Okay, it's up to you. Now this is the entire project folder structure, guys. Okay, now here the main endpoint. Okay, the main endpoint is nothing but my main.py. So let me open up the main.py. You can see this is the main application code. Okay, now let's try to understand the flow, like how to let's say write all the component one by one. Okay, now see what is happening. So here I'm importing all of the necessary library. You can see I'm importing Flask, then I'm importing the vector store from the model. Okay, you can see from the model vector store.py, then service. Okay, from the service itself I'm importing this S3 storage service. So inside that I'm having the S3 storage service. Okay, so these are the thing actually I'm importing one by one. Okay, then I'm also importing LangChain, this text loader, PDF loader, then recursive character text splitter for the chunking operation, then temp file logging. So these are the thing I'm importing. Then I'm initializing the Flask, then I'm initializing all the object I have imported here, my vector store, S3 storage, LLM service. Okay, so first of all, what is happening, I'm creating the default route. Default route means whenever you are executing your application, it will show you index.html, which is nothing but my this page. Okay, this page. So this is my default page. Okay, default route. You can see this is the default route. Then there is another route I created, but before that I just added one configuration login. So if you are not adding it, it's completely fine, but you can also add it, because sometimes what happens, let's say your application is giving error, so you can see the log message in the terminal. Okay, this is what we are adding. Now you can see here I have written a function called process documents. So what will happen, I'll tell you, but before that let me show you. So this is the upload route I have created. So in the upload route, whenever let's say you are uploading any a PDF document or TXT document and creating on the upload, so what is happening here? So first of all, it is trying to get that particular file object. Okay, first of all it will check this file you have uploaded or not. If file is not there, it will tell no file provided. Okay, 400, that means there is some error, okay, with your upload. And if you have uploaded any empty file, again it will give you the error. Okay, now it will check the file extension, so whether you have uploaded TXT file or PDF file. Okay, instead of that, if you're uploading anything, it will give you error, then it will log the message. Okay, then once you uploaded the correct file, so what will happen, it will call the process function, process document. So inside process document, what is happening, so first of all it will actually store this file in a temporary, okay, temporary format. Then you can see I'm getting the actually extension, whether it's a PDF or text loader. Okay, with respect to that, I'm loading the document. Okay, if it is PDF, I'm loading with the help of PDF loader. If it is TXT, I'm loading with the help of TXT loader. Okay, then if some exception is there, I'm raising the exception. Then I'm performing the chunking operation. I think you know the RAG component, right? It's chunking we have to apply. So here is the chunk size and chunk overlap. Then I'm getting the different chunks. Okay, then once it is done, I'm removing my temporary file actually format. Okay, so this is what actually we are doing. That means after getting the, let's say, file, we are processing the file, we are getting the text chunks. Okay, then we are uploading this particular file in the S3 bucket. Okay, you can see we are uploading. So storage service upload. Now let's try to understand how we have written this particular function. So storage service. Okay, so here I have imported this storage service. Okay, storage service, S3 storage. Now to understand the S3 storage, I have written this S3 storage in the service. Okay, service, you can see services storage service.py. Now let me open it up. Now this is the class I have written, guys. Okay, so with the Boto3 we are accessing the S3, and if you are using AWS, you have to use the Boto3 package. Okay, this is the Python package. Now here I've created one class. So here you can see I'm using S3, and how we are using this, with the help of secret key and access key. Okay, from where I'm getting the secret key and access key, I'm getting from the env file. Okay, you can see OpenAI API key I have set, AWS access key, secret key, and a bucket name. Okay, and how we are loading, with the help of configuration. Okay, you can see this is the configuration I've written. So it is getting from the environment variable and it is returning in the variable. Okay, that is what we are uploading here. Okay, we are importing here. Now let's try to see how we can generate this AWS access key and secret key. For this, just go to your AWS account. Okay, AWS account, and here you need to create one user. First of all, IAM user. So search for IAM. Okay, IAM user. So let me open the IAM. Now go to the users. So for me, I already created a user. So let me create another user. So let's say the username I will give test. I'll click on next, add policies directly. So you can give administrator access as of now. Now let's create the user. Permission is fine. I'll create the user. Okay, now see test has been created. Now I'll open it up. Then here you will see one option called security credential. I'll just try to click. and here access key. Okay, now try to create the access key. Select command line interface and I acknowledge this service. Okay, now click on the next. Now let's create the access key. Okay, now see, this is your access key and this is your secret key. Now you can download as a CSV file. Okay, if I click here, see, it will download as a CSV file if you want to save it. Okay, now directly you can copy from here and you can add here. Let's say this is your access key, this is your access key. Okay, and this is your secret access key, and don't share this key with anyone, otherwise they will access your account. Okay, copy and try to paste it here. Okay, and AWS bucket, you have to create the bucket. So once it is done, just click on done. Now I'll go to the home page, then I will open up my bucket, S3 bucket, and here you have to create a bucket. Okay, how to create the bucket? So here you will see one create bucket option. Just try to create, give the bucket name. So let's say give I think I can give test bucket 2024, and I will remove this option, block all the public access, then I acknowledge, and I'll create the bucket. So this name is already taken, so what I can give any other name. Let's say you can give any unique name. Okay, unique name, because S3 is a global service, so you have to give the unique name. Now see, this bucket is being created. Now see, bucket has created. Okay, test bucket 2473. Now this name you have to give it here. Okay, you have to give it here. For me, I already given this rag bucket. Okay, this bucket actually I'm using. Okay, so I'm not going to use this bucket, I'm going to use this bucket. Okay, the bucket I created. So I already showed you how so I just showed you, okay, how to create the bucket and all. Got it? This is the idea. Now I think you got it. In the .env file, what are the things you have to keep? Okay, so these are the credential you need, and don't share this credential with anyone, otherwise they will access your application. Okay, great. Now let me close it. Now you can see with the help of the secret key and access key, we are accessing our AWS service, our S3 service. Okay, now we are actually getting the bucket name, and in that bucket I've created two functions. One is the upload and another is the get file. So with the help of upload file, we'll be uploading any kinds of file into a bucket, and if you want to download any file, so you have to use the get file function. Okay, now if I show you the main.py, so here I have initialized the S3 storage. So here you can see it is uploading. Okay, it is uploading. Okay, it is uploading the file. So for this I'm using upload file. You can see I'm using upload file functionality. Okay, got it. So once my file is uploaded, that means once I upload it, this file would be uploaded in the bucket. So if I show you, so see, this file is uploaded in the bucket. Okay, then once it is uploaded, then we'll be also creating the vector store. And how to create the vector store? So we'll be using vector store functionality. So here I already initialized the vector store. Okay, so this is the function I have written. Now let me show you the vector store. So this vector store is available inside model. Okay, vector store.py. Let me open it up. See, this is what I actually have implemented, and I think you already know we're using ChromaDB, OpenAI embedding. We are creating the vector. Okay, vector store. And let's say you are I already showed you now, you can also upload multiple file. Let's say first of all I uploaded my resume, then I uploaded my paper. So what will happen, the last upload, it will add those are the let's say data to my existing database. Okay, it will update the existing data. Let's say I have uploaded my, let's say, resume. This data is available in the vector database. Now if I again uploading another PDF file, it will extract all the information with the help of add document. Okay, it will add the document. That means it will add, it won't be replacing, it will add the new one. Okay, that's why we have written this function, and we need the similarity search functionality. Okay, I think you already know. So this is how our vector store works. Now we can see I'm using the vector store, and whatever let's say text I got, chunks text I got, I'm creating the entire vector store, logging the information, raising the exception. Okay, so here is the, you can see different exception I have written. And once my let's say vector store is created successfully, I was rendering this message, file uploaded and processed successfully. I think you saw that. Got it? Yes. So this is how my file upload is working. So it is storing in my S3 bucket, and it is also creating the entire knowledge base. Okay, and it is creating this particular vector database object. Okay, you can see with the help of ChromaDB, and it is storing all of the vector there. Then the second thing, I was doing the query operation. So I was giving any message, and here I was asking the query, and this route is working that time. Okay, query route was working. So here I'm getting the data from, first of all, from the user. That means whatever data actually they're giving, whatever input they're giving, I'm receiving, okay, in the data folder. Then I'm checking whether it is empty or not. If it is empty, that means no question provided. Otherwise, I'm calling my large language model, and for large language model I've written another functionality, LLM service. You can see LLM service. Okay, and where LLM service is available, it is available in the service LLM service.py. And here is my LLM, guys. Okay, you can see I'm using GPT 3.5 Turbo, and here I added the conversation buffer memory. I already explained this code, right? How conversation buffer memory works. And here I'm creating the retriever. I'm getting the response. Okay, now see this thing, the chain actually I've created. Okay, this chain actually I'm calling. That means whatever question user is giving, okay, I'm getting the response and I'm returning it. I'm calling the get response function here. Let me show you. So here I'm calling the get response. Okay, I'm getting the response and I'm rendering, okay, here in the response box with the help of Flask. Okay, and if some exception is occurring, I'm raising the exception, and here is the final code. You are running your application on the local host, port number 8080, debug is equal to true. Okay, so that's how this is the entire application flow, and this is the HTML code. Okay, that means the front end we have developed. This is the HTML code I have written, and these kinds of HTML code you will be getting from the Bootstrap website. So Bootstrap will give you HTML template, okay, CSS template. So you can go to the example section. So from there you can choose different example. Okay, you can get it. But this is not your concern. There would be a front-end developer team. They will be creating the front end for you. Okay, but as a, let's say, generative AI engineer, if you, let's say, want to create, you can create these kinds of basics actually template. Now this is the CSS code. Okay, so this CSS code will give you some style in your application. Okay, this is the style it has given me. So yes, apart from that, I think there is nothing. So all the file I already discussed. I discussed about vector store we are using for the vector creation. Let's say my knowledge base. Then inside services, we have LLM service. So here I have my large language model initialization. Then storage service, with the help of that, we are storing my file in the S3 bucket. Okay. Then we have something called config. Inside config, we are getting all the, let's say, secret key inside my variable. Okay. From the environment variable. And then this is my endpoint. Okay. Main.py. So here I'm calling all of the route. Okay. One by one. Got it, guys? So this is the entire project structure. Okay. This is the entire project development. Okay, that's how actually I have written all of the source code. Now you just need to go through this code one by one. Okay, just open up this code in your system and try to execute and try to go one by one, because see, it's just a simple Python code only. Okay, I have written. I think you know what is if-else condition and all. That's why I told you Python understanding is required, because you are learning the professional development. Okay, so here ABCD of the Python, I'm not going to explain for sure. Got it? So yes, so this is the entire development. And I showed you how this application is working. Okay, how this application is working. That means you can upload any document and it will store in the S3 bucket. Then you can perform the question answer operation. Okay, so after implementing, okay, the way actually I showed you the deployment in the medical chatbot. Okay, the same way we can deploy this application in the AWS cloud. Got it? So before starting the deployment, guys, first of all, let me show you what exactly we're gonna perform here. What is CI/CD exactly? Then I will also discuss, let's say, what are the tools and technology we'll be using here, what are the services we'll be using here. Then I will start with the deployment, and make sure you have the AWS account. If you don't have the AWS account, guys, so you won't be able to deploy this project. So first of all, try to create one account. If you're creating for the first time, you will get $300 free credit. Okay, and this is enough for you. So try to create an account, guys. Then you can start with the deployment with me. So let's open up our Blackboard and try to see the architecture overview. So guys, as I already told you, here we'll be doing something called CI/CD deployment, right? And I already told you what is CI/CD full form. It's continuous integration, continuous delivery, or deployment, right? So inside continuous integration, continuous delivery, what happens? Let's say you are the developer. Okay, let's say you are the developer. So what is your task? Your task is to develop a project in the development, let's say, environment. So development environment means like your local system. Let's say you are using your laptop or computer. Let's say local computer. Okay, local computer. Fine. Then what we are doing, I think you remember, we are committing this code to the GitHub, right? We are doing the code management. I think you remember. That means whenever I was adding some new feature, I was pushing this code to the GitHub. Yes or no? Okay, with the help of Git client, we are pushing the code in the GitHub server. Now what happens actually, let's say after deployment. So this is called actually development server, or I can write this actually development environment. Okay, development environment. So after implementing this project, what we have to do, we have to deploy this project, yes or no? Let's say somehow you have deployed this project on the AWS cloud. Let's say this is your AWS cloud. Fine. So let's say you have deployed this project to the AWS cloud manually. You just created a, let's say, instance there. You just took a machine there, a EC2 machine, and you manually deployed this project. Now it will give you some endpoint. Okay, endpoint. So with the help of this endpoint, any of the user can access your application. Now let's say after 4 months or let's say 6 months, you want to add some more features in this, let's say application. Let's say you are deploying medical chatbot. The medical chatbot we implemented, I think you remember, right? Let's say you want to add some more data, you want to add some more knowledge base, and you want to add some more features in this application. Then what you have to do, you have to again develop this, let's say, features in your code. Then what you will be doing, again you will be deploying this application to the AWS cloud. Now just try to see, whenever you are deploying the project for the second time, let's say this is the first time you have deployed, then you are trying to deploy for the second time, then what you have to do, first of all, you have to stop this application in the AWS. Okay, stop this application, then you will be uploading your updated code. Then this code will reflect to the endpoint, then user will able to access that. Now let's say in between, whenever you stop this AWS server, let's say your application, let's say it took 3 hours. It took 3 hours to change the entire source code. That means change the entire features, okay, of your application. So what will happen? 3 hours user won't be able to access your application. So they will come your website and they will see server error. Okay, server error actually they will get. So if user is getting this kinds of experience, so definitely it would be a negative, let's say, effect, okay, on your application. So next time actually they are not going to use your application. Yes or no? Let's say if ChatGPT is down for the let's say 3 hours, definitely people will move to the Google Bard or any other, let's say, software, whatever actually we are having. Okay, so now see, ChatGPT is also updating their, let's say, application day by day. But did you ever observe this server is down? No, you are not seeing this server is down, but still they're able to make the changes in their application. How? Because they are following something called CI/CD approach, continuous integration, continuous delivery. That means this application is keep on running, but in the backend they're pushing their source code, they're pushing their, let's say, new features, and this feature is automatically getting updated. Okay, so this is called actually CI/CD. That means you are not going to deploy this application manually. Instead of that, what you have to do, you have to follow the CI/CD. That means what will happen? Let's say you have changed something in your code, you will push the code to the GitHub. Okay, GitHub will automatically let's say deploy your code to the AWS cloud. It will automatically push your code to the AWS cloud, and your endpoint would be automatically updated. Okay, automatically updated, so that if user is using your application, okay, they won't be feeling any kinds of, let's say, server down issue. Okay, server down issue actually they won't be feeling. Got it? So this is what actually we have to do. That means we'll be creating the entire pipeline, entire, let's say, CI/CD pipeline. So we'll be just pushing the code in our GitHub, and GitHub will automatically trigger this action, and my code will update it to the AWS cloud, and AWS will update the endpoint. Okay, now see, the automated process we'll be doing. Now whenever we'll let's say push our code to the GitHub, GitHub will automatically trigger. How it will trigger? For this you have to use some CI/CD tool. Okay, CI/CD tool, CI/CD automation tool. So here there are different kinds of CI/CD tool. So the first tool you can use something called GitHub Action. Okay, GitHub Action you can use. Then you can use something called Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins. Then you can use something called Circle CI. Circle CI. So these actually 3 famous tools actually we are having in the market right now. So people are using more this GitHub Action, because GitHub Action you don't need to set up anything. It is already set up everything in the GitHub. But if you're using Jenkins and Circle CI, you have to set up this server manually. Okay, so here we'll be using GitHub Action because it is already inbuilt with the GitHub. We don't need to set up anything. Going forward, I will also show you how we can let's say use Jenkins, Circle CI. These are the services as well. Fine. So yes guys, this is the complete high level architecture of our deployment. Now let's discuss what are the services actually we'll be using for the deployment. See here, the first services actually I'm going to use called Docker. So I think you already know Docker. So Docker is a containerization service. So with the help of that, you can containerize your code. That means, let's say you are having a source code, you can perform the containerization. That means it will create a Docker image for you. Okay, so this image you can let's say keep anywhere. Let's say you can keep in the Docker Hub, you can keep, let's say, in the ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. From there you can pull the image and you can execute this image. Okay, so if you are using Docker, so you won't be getting any kinds of setup issue. This is the main advantage here. Then we'll be using something called ECR here. ECR means Elastic Container Registry. So this is the service from the AWS. Okay, AWS giving the service. So here you can store any kinds of Docker image. It is the same like your Docker Hub. Okay, but it is the service from the AWS. You can store the private image there, but in Docker Hub actually all the image would be public. This is the difference only. Now we'll be using another service called EC2. Okay, EC2 is a virtual machine service from the AWS. Again, it is from the AWS. Okay, so this will give you virtual machine. There you can buy, let's say, CPU based machine, GPU based machine. Okay, so all kinds of configuration would be there. So here we are using a local computer. So there we'll be getting a cloud computer. Okay, this is the reference only. Then as a CI/CD tool, I'll be using something called GitHub Action, as I already told you. Okay, we'll be using GitHub Action for the CI/CD management. Fine. So yes, guys, these are the services as of now I'm going to use. So let me show you the deployment step we'll be following. For this, what I have done, guys, I think you remember we implemented one medical chatbot. This is the code, and this code would be also available in your resources section. Even you will also get this code in my GitHub. So guys, this is my GitHub profile. Just search entbappy in the Google, you will see my GitHub, and here I have created one repository called end-to-end medical chatbot. So I'm going to commit this code here, so you will get all the source code from this repository itself. Okay, and even I will also add the deployment step in the readme file. So that is what actually I have written. You can see the entire deployment step I have written here. Now this is the CI/CD deployment we'll be following. So first of all, what I have to do, we have to let's say create a IAM user. Then we'll be creating the EC2 machine ECR. Okay, then we'll be, see, this is the deployment step as of now. Just try to follow the step I'm going to show you. First of all, we'll be building our so here, first of all, we'll be building the Docker image of our source code. That means Docker image we'll be implementing. Then we'll be pushing this Docker image to the ECR. That means Elastic Container Registry, to store my Docker image. Then we'll be pulling this image from ECR in the EC2. That means we'll be pulling that image in the EC2 machine in our virtual computer. Then we'll be launching this Docker image in my EC2 machine, and from there we'll be creating an endpoint, and that endpoint user will be able to access. Okay, and these are the policy I have to give whenever I will be creating the IAM user. Fine. So this is the entire step, guys, I have written. Even I have also given all the command you need to execute here. Now let's start the deployment, guys. But before that, you just need to prepare some of the files. The first file you have to prepare the Docker file. So this file will help you to containerize entire your application. That means it will perform the Dockerization. And these are the Docker command you have to write. So I think you remember we are using Python 3.10. Okay, this Python version. That's why I have taken Python 3.10 Slim Bastard image. Then working directory, it will create a working directory called app. Inside that, it will copy all the source code. Then it will install the requirements. Okay, whatever requirements actually we are having here. Got it? Then it will execute this Python 3 app.py command. So that means my endpoint would be executed. Okay, my application would be running. And make sure before actually deployment, you just store your index. Okay, in the Pinecone. So this is the Pinecone, guys. It is running, and all the vector is already stored here. You can see 7020 actually record is already stored here. So I already executed this file. I think remember store index. So it will create all the, let's say, vector embedding, and it will store in the Pinecone. Okay, Pinecone vector database. So in this project, I was using Pinecone, I think remember. Okay, so this should be available here. Got it? So once it is available, now what I have to do, guys, then you can create another file called Docker ignore. Inside Docker ignore, you can mention like some of the file which is not required. Let's say here this file is not required. Let's say I think this file is not required. Generative AI project.egg.info. Okay, so whenever it will perform the, let's say, containerization, that means Dockerization. So I don't need this folder. That time what you can do, you can mention this folder name in the Docker ignore file. It is the same thing as your git ignore. So it is already mentioned inside my git ignore. That's why I haven't mentioned inside my Docker ignore. Docker ignore is completely empty. As of now, I need all the file. That's why I haven't keep anything here. Now let's see, if you want to ignore any kinds of file which is not required, that time you can store these other file inside Docker ignore. Okay, that's the thing. Now the next things you have to create. You have to create one folder called .github. Okay, inside that you have to create one folder called workflows. Inside that you have to create one YAML file. You can give any name. Here I have given cic.yaml. Okay, now see, this is the complete YAML file. So this YAML file will help me to do the CI/CD deployment. Okay, that means here it will be using something called GitHub Action. Okay, and GitHub Action need this YAML file. So here all the command is already written. So first of all, you will see that it will perform continuous integration. Inside continuous integration, it will authenticate with my AWS account. Okay, then it will log in with my ECR. Then whatever, let's say, Docker image actually will be building, you will push that image to the ECR. Okay, that means Elastic Container Registry. Then your continuous deployment will start. Again, it will authenticate with your AWS account. Then it will pull that, let's say, image from your ECR to EC2 machine. Then it will execute it here. And here all the environment variable I have set. You can see -e means this is the environment variable. See, AWS access key, AWS secret key. I'll tell you how to generate these are the key. Then a Pinecone API key, OpenAI API key, everything I have set here. Okay, so these are the thing we'll be reading from the secret. Okay, GitHub secret. I'll tell you how to create the GitHub secret as well. So as of now, just try to remember this is the YAML file you have to use for the CI/CD, and this YAML file you can use as it is. No need to change anything in your other project as well. Okay, that's the thing. Now let's open up our AWS account. So guys, this is my AWS account. I already logged in with my AWS account. So here, so first of all, what you have to do, you have to create a IAM user. So let's create a IAM user. So IAM. So the first thing we'll be creating one user here. So let's create one user. I'll create a user. So let's say username is, I'll give medical bot. You can give any name, it's up to you. So let's click on next. Now you have to give policies. Okay, like what are the policy you want to give in this user? I don't want to give my entire policy. That means all the services I don't want to give the access. So I'll be giving some specific access. So access wise, I already written in the readme file. Let me show you. So these are the access I'll be providing. My EC2 container registry full access and EC2 full access. Okay, these are the thing we'll be giving. So here just search it. So this is the ECR. Okay, ECR Elastic Container Registry full service here I'm giving. So let's select. And after that, again, I can delete it. Then I'll try to copy the next service. This is the service. Okay, this is the EC2 machine service. So again, search here and select the EC2 machine and click on the next. Now see that I have given this two service. Okay, next thing, just create the user. So right hand side, you can see one button is there, create user. Just click on create user. So guys, as you can see, my user has created. Now I'll click on the user. Then here you will get one option, security credential. Just click here. Then you have to create a access key. So click on create access key, select command line interface. And I understand this above recommendation and click on the next. So there is a next button, just click on the next. Now create the access key here. Now see guys, this is your access key and secret access key. Try to download as a CSV file. So let's download. So and just keep it with you. Okay, this thing I need later on. Okay, and no need to share this key with anyone, otherwise they will also access your AWS account. Okay, so here I'm showing because after the recording I'll delete everything. Got it? So my IAM creation is done. Now I'll go back to the home page. Now the next thing what I have to do, guys, I have to create a ECR repository to store my Docker image. So let's search for ECR. So just search for ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. Just open it up and make sure you check your region, in which region you are working. See, I'm working in Mumbai, AP South 1. If you're in other region, just try to note it down. Okay, you have to note it down, this syntax actually, AP South 1, then CS Central 1. If you're, let's say, in North Virginia, you have to give US East 1. So just try to remember these are the tag. Okay, so I'm inside Mumbai, that means AP South 1. Now I'll be creating a Elastic Container Registry. So let's create, so let's click there. Now you have to give the name. Let's say I'll give medical chatbot. You can give any name, it's up to you. Everything keep it as default. Now click on next. Now see, my repo is created. Now what you have to do, just copy the URI and just try to paste it as of now here, because this thing I need later on. Just for reference, I'm saving it here. Okay. That's it. Now what I will do, I will go back again. Now the next thing I have to do, I have to create my EC2 machine. Then I have to set up, these are the requirements. Okay, that means I have to set up the Docker there. Then I will be also updating that machine. So let's create my EC2 machine right now. So search for EC2 here, EC2 instance. So this is the EC2 service. Now launch the instance. Now select the Ubuntu machine. And what you have to do, give the name of the machine. Let's say medical bot machine. You can give anything. Then see, instance type, you have to take at least 8 GB RAM. 8 GB RAM, just take 8 GB RAM. I'll be taking T2 large. Okay, this machine. And then select the key value pair. If you don't have the key value pair, you can also create it. So let's say I'll give medical. So it will create one RSA file. So guys, you can see after creating and download, it will give you one PEM file. So this PEM file you can use. Let's say if you're using any third-party tool to connect with your EC2 machine, let's say Putty or Mobile Extreme, that time you can use this PEM file. But I'm going to launch my, let's say, machine in my second tab with the help of AWS only. I don't need this PEM file. Okay. So now I'll select these two options, HTTPS and HTTP. Keep it everything as default. Configuration storage at least take, let's say, 30 GB. And launch the instance right now. So here you can see, click on view all instance. Then see, my machine is running. So if status is running, now click on the machine ID. Now here you have to connect this machine. So click on the connect button. Now I'll be selecting the EC2 connector and let's connect the machine. So it will create a new tab for me. So here I will get one terminal, black terminal. So we have to use this terminal to set up everything here. And this is the production server, guys. Okay, that's how your production server looks like. See, this is the production server. Let me zoom. Now let me clear. See, here you won't be getting any kinds of UI interface. Okay, that means the way we are using our computer, it is having UI. But in the production server, you won't be getting any kinds of UI. You have to work with the terminal always. And this is the Linux terminal I got. This is the Linux machine, guys. So that's why if you know any kinds of Linux command, it will help you a lot. Got it? So here, first of all, I have to update this machine. For this, you have to execute these at the command one by one. So let's copy all the command one by one. Okay, so this is done. Now I'll copy the next command and just try to paste here. Now give yes permission and press enter. Okay, so execution is completed. Now I have to set up the Docker in the EC2 machine. So this is the command you have to run. Copy the next one and execute. Then I will execute this one, then the last command. So we have to add the Docker in the sudo group. Okay. Now, if it is running or not, so what you can do, you can execute one command, docker ---- version. So if it is showing the version, that means Docker is installed successfully. Now, we have to set up our self-hosted runner. EC2 as our self-hosted runner. That means we have to connect our GitHub. Okay, you can see this is the GitHub. Now, this is our project GitHub. So this GitHub I have to connect with my AWS. That means whenever user will, whenever let's say developer will push the code in the GitHub, it will automatically get updated to the AWS. Okay, AWS cloud. So for this, what I have to do, I have to go to my project. Make sure you committed your repository in your GitHub and go to the settings. Okay, go to the settings. Now here, left hand side, you will see one option called actions. Just click on the action, click on the runners. Now create a new self-hosted runner. Now select the Linux machine and you have to execute. These are the commands. So let's copy this command one by one and let me execute here. So it will automatically make the connection with your GitHub. Let me show you. Then the third command. Then fourth command. Now you have to go to the configuration section and copy this command and execute it here. Now see GitHub action, it will automatically connect. Now it will see it has connected to the GitHub. Now it is asking for enter the name of the runner group. I don't want to give anything, press enter. Now it is asking enter the name of the runner. So here you have to give self-hosted. Okay, self-hosted. This is the thing you have to give. If you're giving another thing, it won't be working. Okay, make sure you're giving self-hosted. Now let's press enter. Now keep it everything in default, just press enter again. Then again press enter. Now see, it is done. Now the last command we have to execute, this one. And you can ignore this one, it is not required. Now see, it would be connected with my GitHub. See, connected to the GitHub, listening for the jobs. Okay. Now if I show you, if I come back and now if I go to the runners, let's say, I'll go to the runners. Now see, status should be idle. You can see it is connected. Okay. Now the next thing what I have to do, I have to set up all the GitHub secrets. Okay. Now let's go back to the secret. So secret variable, click on the action. Now new repository secret. Now give the secret ID. Okay. So for the first ID I have to give AWS access key ID. Just copy and give the key name here. And why we will get the value? I think remember we downloaded one CSV file. So let me open this CSV file. I will open in a Notepad++, and this is my AWS access key ID. I'll copy, and here let me paste it. Then the next one I have to give secret access key ID, copy, and create another new repository secret and give it here. And in the CSV file, you will get the next one. See, it is comma separated. So before the comma, this is the AWS key ID, access key ID, and after the comma, this is the secret access key ID. So let me copy the secret access key ID and I will paste it here. Okay, now the next thing you have to give AWS default region. So region, I already told you I'm inside Mumbai. That means AP South 1. So I think remember I'm inside AP South 1. See, AP South 1, you have to write it. So let's write AP-South. Okay, -1, AP South 1. Let's try to check. AP South 1. AP South 1. Okay, fine. Now let me add it. Now the next thing, I have to add my ECR repo. So ECR repo wise, I think you remember we copied one URL. So just try to get this name only. Okay. After .com, just try to get the name and try to mention here. Then the next thing, I have to set my Pinecone API key. So let's copy and add it here. And I think you remember in my .env file, I had my Pinecone API key. Let's copy. And this is not available inside my GitHub. That's why I'm reading from the GitHub secret. Okay. This is the idea. Now I also need to add my OpenAI secret. Okay. That means OpenAI API key. The last one, you can see OpenAI API key. Let's add it. So let's copy the OpenAI API. Here I'm going to paste it. Now let's add the secret. Okay. Now see, everything is added. Now let me see anything is left. No, everything I have added. Now what I have to do, I have to push the changes. Okay, but before that, let me get back to my project. Now I'll push the changes. So just try to commit. To commit, just open up your git bash and try to write this command, git add space dot, then git commit -m, let's say ci cd edit, then git push origin main. Now if I go back to my GitHub, now see, if I refresh here, so it will start running my action. Now just go to the action. Now see, my action is running. See, first of all, it is running the continuous integration. So inside continuous integration, first of all, it will authenticate with my AWS ECR, build the Docker image, push it to the ECR. Okay, everything will happen. See, automatically. It's just a one-time setup, guys. Next time, you don't need to set up it. You just need to write the code and push it to the GitHub. Automatically, it will push to the, let's say, AWS server. Okay, now see. So let's wait. Once this execution is completed, I will come back. So guys, as you can see, my continuous integration is completed. Now it is running the continuous deployment. Now what it will do, it will again authenticate with my AWS cloud, and it will pull that image from the ECR to EC2 machine. And if you go to the Elastic Container Registry right now, and if you refresh here, you will see the image. Okay, see, Docker image is been uploaded here. Now see, it is running the deployment. Now see, it is pulling the image. So once it is pulled, then we'll doing the port mapping. We'll create the endpoint, and we can access our application. Let me show you. So guys, as you can see, my execution is completed. That means both integration and deployment is executed. If you're not getting added, that means congratulations, it's done. Now I will go back to my EC2 machine. Okay. Now here in the EC2 machine, you will get one public IP address. Just let me show you. So this is the public IP address. Just try to copy and just try to open it. Okay. Now see, if I open it up, so it won't be opening because see, my application is running on port number 8080. I think you remember. Okay, so by default, port number 8080 is not set. So I have to do the port mapping. So what I have to do, I'll go back, go to the instance. This is my instance. Then I'll go to the security. Okay. Now here you will see one option called security group. Just click here. Now on top you will see edit inbound rules. Okay, just try to click here. Now I'll just add the rules. Custom TCP port number, just give 8080. Just select 000. Okay. And here you will see save rules. Okay, just click on the save rules. That's it. Okay, so rules has been added. Now I'll go to the instance again. I'll open it up. Now I'll copy the public IP address again, and here let me paste. Now you have to give clone port number 8080. Now see, if I hit enter, my application should be running. See guys, this is my chatbot is running. Now if I give any message, let's say what is acne. See guys, it is giving me the response. Now see, my application is live right now. So it is already deployed. Now user can use my applications. Now what you can do, you can buy a domain, okay, your custom domain, and you can publish this application to the audience. Okay. Now for the second time, let's say you changed anything in the code. Let's say you added some more function. What you have to do, only just need to commit the changes. It will automatically get updated here. Fine. So no need to set up anything from scratch. It's just a one-time setup. Once setup is completed, just try to commit the changes, it will automatically running. Okay, now you can ask me, if I close this terminal, will it work? Yes, definitely we can close it. Let's say I will close this terminal. If I again go to the chatbot, if I refresh, see, still my bot is running. Okay, so that's how, guys, we can do the CI/CD deployment. Now let me show you how we can terminate all the instance, like whatever instance we created, if you don't want to keep it running, otherwise it will charge you, right? So what I can do, first of all, I will stop the EC2 machine I've created. So select the machine, click on the instance state and terminate. So terminate will delete it. Okay, so it will terminate and delete the instance. Then after that, I also need to delete my ECR. So let's go to the ECR. So first of all, delete the image inside that. Just write the delete command. Now try to select and delete. Okay, then what I have to do, I have to delete the then I will also delete my I'm user. Okay, the I'm user I created. User. Let's select and try to delete it. Medical chatbot I have to write here. So let me copy. And let me delete it. See, everything is deleted. Now nothing will charge you. Okay. So guys, that's how we can perform the deployment. And this is the code. You can use this code as it is. Okay. The code actually have shared. So yes, guys, this is all about, and I hope you liked it. So thanks for watching, guys.